Every time nilikuwa ninaona nasa akikuja naambia no, I don't want. But ni 9 a.m. and 9 at night for 3 days. That was a nightmare. So growing up, I didn't have hair. So kids will always, so I used to have, I think kulikuwa tu na nywele hapa inamea. So hii ndio imekuanga tu ikimea. So kids will always just pull hiyo tu nywele yenye hapo tu kanywele kadogo kenye niko nako kwa scar. My name is Shalet Mkamzungu. I am a mother. I am a photographer. I am a burn survivor. I'm not a victim but a survivor. And I'm a motivational speaker.
Yeah, talking of being a burn survivor and not a burn victim, this is what really attracted me to you, because I saw your post. By the first time I got to know about you, I saw your post somewhere. You were talking about overcoming so much in life, about being a burn survivor. I understand. I also saw a video of you doing away with makeup and doing away with wigs and all that. Can you do that in our show?
Well, it's just unfortunate that I actually don't have makeup, but you know what? I think this has been my slogan, like moving on forward. I really don't want to have anything that will hinder someone to know me better. So guess what?
Honestly.
Yeah, so as a survivor, I honestly don't know where to start. But my story has been one of the longest journey I have ever had to walk in. And we got burned, my sister and I, she unfortunately succumbed to burns. We got burned when I was 2 years old and she was 6 years old. So what really happened is, or rather what the house girl said, or the nanny, I will use it, or auntie, or manager, nanny, house help, all these names, what she said was, but unfortunately whatever she said and why she also ran away, so things don't add up. So this is what she said. She said that alikuwa naweka mafuta alafu stove ikalipuka. So my dad had just come from work. It was during lunch time. My dad had just come and he had just stepped out to go and get something kwa duka. Venye tungeenda mpaka huko juu. Coming back, we were not there to be seen. We were not there because we were rushed to hospital. But what did she say? She said that alikuwa anaweka mafuta ya taa kwa stove and then ikalipuka. My question is, stove ikilipuka, being a victim, being a victim of such incident, ikilipuka inaanza na nani?
Mwenye alikuwa karibu, of course.
Yes, juice inalipuka juu. Yes. But she didn't get burned. My sister and I got burned. In fact, when we got to hospital then, she actually succumbed.
That's your elder sister?
Yes, so you can imagine the intensity of the burns was severe.
Okay, stop it there. Let me ask you, like the whole nyumba iliungua ama what really happened?
Yes, nyumba vitu zilichomeka kwa nyumba. And my sister and I tukachomeka.
Were you not in a position to get out?
I was only 1 year old.
I'm talking about your sister pia mwenye aliget kuungua.
6 years old. Yes. Now this is where the mystery is. We don't know. Because what she said and how things have been unfolding, because hakuchomeka
hata kidogo.
No. And in fact she didn't even stay. She actually ran away. So you see,
it was possible watu nje and all that. Sasa kuna hizo question marks bado za maisha.
Yes, it's a mystery kwa sababu why did she get, she said, why did she get burned? Could it be alituchoma? could it be?
So what transpired hapo? According to the story, mpaka ukatolewa kwa nyumba, who did that?
Imagine, no one knows. My dad came when we are being rushed to hospital. She's the only one who can tell us what happened, because as it just happened, it's like I will just step out and something happens, and you can't
explain.
You can't put a finger. Yeah? But she's not even there to tell the story. So you see, so now I am a third-degree burn survivor. Tuko hapo hosi, a whole year I was in hospital.
A whole year?
Yes, a whole year. Yeah, depending with the degree and also depending with the burns. Yeah, I was there for a whole year, and I remember what my mom was saying: 6 months in ICU, and then now the 6 months in the ward. But sasa now you see, now my sister had passed away. So sasa my family is trying to get the body to Taita, you know. Hata kama ni wewe mzazi, it will deplete the whole purpose of wanting to follow up of what happened, because you've lost
a child already. Another one is in hospital.
You're not even sure if they're even going to, you know, to make it. So
apart from what you can see, how much were you burnt?
54%.
54%.
Yes.
That's to say more than half of your body.
Mostly on my back, and then now hands. Mostly on my back.
Now talk about your journey, because I saw something like overcoming all those challenges, being a burn victim, you know, and at some point ulifanya surgery, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. In 2011, because growing up, you see, all my life I've known scars, and there is no picture that my parents took that I will see myself before the incident. So I've grown up knowing this is how I looked, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I used to feel different. I honestly, I had so many questions. I've always had so many questions. You know, why me? Why do I look different from other, you know, my other siblings? You know, why me? You know, those kind of questions that you never get an answer. You don't even get to understand why you. So growing up as a survivor, because everywhere I have gone, I have never really met another child. Let's say in school, I was the only person who was different the entire school, you know. So I've always been the different person. So when you go somewhere, people are staring at you, you know, people are even laughing at you. So growing up, especially in my primary level, my primary level time when I was in class 1 up to class 8, I didn't like school. I hated going to school because of the bullying, because of the name calling. I didn't like school at all. I just didn't like school.
The people could call you names because of the bands and the skirts.
Yeah, kids are very mean. Kids can be so mean. And you know what? Now as a parent, I realize that there is something we need to do as parents. Why have we forsaken our part as parents and teaching children how to be, you know, kind? Do you realize that if maybe this kid who used to really bully me, pull my hair, because I didn't have hair the left side of my head until,
the whole of it?
Yes, I didn't have hair until now after the surgery, because they did what we call a tissue expansion. Tissue expansion meaning they had to insert a tube in my head, and then I had to go for insulation every week.
Mm-hmm.
So every week I would go to Kijabe. Another horrific experience and time. So growing up, I didn't have hair. So kids will always, you know, so I used to have, I think kulikuwa tu na nywele hapa inamea. So hii ndio imekuanga tu ikimea. So kids will always just pull hiyo tu nywele yenye ako tu kanywele kadogo kenye niko nako kwa scar. You know, I will really get excited, because now I'm starting to see there's light at the end of the tunnel, because I didn't have hair. So when I started to see there's hair growing wow, I used to be very excited. I used to just say, you know what, I can't wait till sikuntamea nywele the entire head. But then it didn't happen until surgery. So kids would bully me, called me Kachomiko.
Kachomiko.
Can you imagine how mean people can be?
Yeah.
Kachomiko, what does that mean? It means where, yes. So can you imagine?
The whole of your primary school life?
Yes, yeah. Because you see, obviously you can another class in Taina too now.
The same.
It's not like you're going to change. You're just going to move with them, you know. So this kid, I remember this time, this boy. In fact, the most bully kids were boys, and we have nothing in common with them, you know. So I remember this time, my deskmate, what he used to do, he really used to bully me, and especially pull my hair. So this time when I started to want to have enough of him, ambia mimi utanifanya venye unanifanyanga. I have had enough, and if we are going to fight, we are going to fight. Mi sitaki mchezo, utakuwa unanifanya venye unanifanya. So in that process of wanting to, you know, arguing and all that, so I remember I just remember just seeing a pencil, cha, nimedungwa nayo hapa, because he wanted to stick it in my scar or head. So when I was now fighting and resisting, what he did, nakumbuka tu alisharpen ikakuwa sharp, and then either in that process of wanting to resist, this mark sitaisahau, hii ni yake, ni alinidunga, and then pencil ikavunjikia kwa mkono yangu. Can you imagine that? I hated going to school. I didn't like it.
So did you ever report, like ukireport kwa walimu wanakuambia nini?
Honestly, I didn't report that because I felt I was even being too much, you know, because every time I kept on reporting, and I just, I just said I'm going to live with this, you know. And you know how the enemy is, anataka kupate when you really down there, you don't even see a way out. That's when now he will start to bombard you with, you know, how unfilthy you are, unworthy, you know. So all these thoughts now started coming, you know. I am not loved, you know. I don't think there's anyone who cares how I feel, all that. So it was really a struggle. It really affected, now that I know, it really affected my mental, I will say mental illness, now that I know what I was going through. Because you see, then no one will talk about, you know, mental illness, but now that I know what mental illness is, it really took me to my own cocoon. I didn't want friends. My dad used to have like a very small camera. In fact, I think now looking back, he's the one, I will say, he really motivated me now to become a photographer. But now that I've really come to expound my mind and thoughts and figure out things, how they used to, you know, to unwind, now I can say, that time as I was growing up, I even didn't want my dad to take pictures of me, you know, because it's my small sibling and then my other 2 siblings. I have 3 who are younger than me. So in our entire, you know, album of a family, I can actually count the number of, you know, pictures that I'm there.
It really affected your esteem?
Yeah, I can actually count even up to 20. And in an album that has more than 1,000 pictures, I have only, let's say, 10 or 15 where you can see me. I didn't want. So I used to be the one taking pictures, excusing myself and saying, "Wacha mimi niwapige." No, I didn't want, and even growing up in Mombasa, imagine unavaa jacket because I didn't want anyone to see my scars. So you can imagine you're in Mombasa with that heat, and then uko tu na masweta zile mzito zenye utaki kukuona, and then now come adolescence where now things are, now you've started to notice something different with you. You can't express. Sasa when you even actually cover yourself in a cocoon. Sasa juu, sasa guy, na umeanza kuona venye hey, you know, in adolescence sasa kuna ile stage where now you start to feel, you know, you're pretty. But sasa mimi, it was even worse for me, because now in that stage, other kids were, you know, coming out and you know, trying to look beautiful. Sasa hiyo ndio mimi ndio hey.
Uko tu like una feel you're very not beautiful.
Not at all. Not at all. For me, it was even it was just so bad for me. Yeah, during the adolescent stage.
So growing up with the scars, you told us about the depressions, of course, because if you had growing up with the low self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah. And did it ever affect your performance or the way you related with your parents, your siblings, and everyone else around you?
Not the way I related with my family, because you say my family was now everything. I didn't have any other, you know, I didn't really have like that social life where ilikuwa ile kucheza na watoto, but then again they will always use something against me. Mtaweza cheza and then kidogo nasikia mkikosana kidogo, you know, you always agree to disagree. So ikikuwa mkona because of kidogo, now they now use my scars, you know,
against yourself.
Yeah, kuchoma wewe sijui nini. So for me now you can cut off. Yes, we will play, but I knew my limit. But now when it comes to my siblings and my parents and even my relatives, now these are the people that I really interacted with. I was very open because they knew me, so I was very much open towards my family, especially my dad, my mom, you know. But this other social life, it was really a struggle. And even I can say maybe even in school, now that I know what mental illness is, yes, of course it affected my you know, my studies, kwa sababu now I'm thinking, okay, you have so much to deal with. You're already even thinking how unworthy you are. You don't even have time to even want to focus on school, because first of all, I hated school, you know.
To begin with, so
yeah. So for me, school was just like, you know, a mandate to do it. You know, I just had to go. But if I was given a chance to just don't go and stay at home, I would have, because what I was going through in school, it even got to a point where I remember telling my mom I don't want to go to school. And of course she understood that. But there's nothing she could honestly do. In her time, she did the best she could have done as a mom. She honestly did the best. Because any other parent, what could they have done? Wangefanya nini? Wanifiche. You know, nisionekane na watu. You know, my mom would have probably been afraid. She would have never wanted anything to do with me. Even my dad. See, they could have just left me in hospital like any other. I mean, I've seen of victims in Hosi being left there with their parents. So they could have literally done the same. But for them to be that courageous, you know, after hospital they take me in and continue to, you know, be the same parents they would have been with or without the accident, it's something I am very much grateful for, because not everyone, because now they have someone who is different, you know.
So what really changed your story? Because at first you were in your own cocoon.
The first surgery that I did was in 2011, now the tissue expansion, because my whole concept was, I want to start with my head. Ikishafunikwa yote, I now come to here, and then now hands, mgongo inaweza kaa, because, but then again ikifikiria if I have to go to swimming, I remember going to swimming na nilikuwa na swimming costume, I have to wear a biker.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because of the steam?
Yes, because if I don't wear, my scars are even up to here. So you see, if I don't wear a biker, my scars will be showing, and I can't even afford to show anyone.
Are you still hiding the scars? Of course not. Or are you still hiding when you go to swimming? Are you confident enough to just put on a swimming costume and walk around? You still put on?
No, I am not that confident. The last time I remember going to swimming, nakumbuka nilivaa tu biker, because I have to wear swimming costume and biker. It has always been my desire to wear, like, you know, like swimming suits. You put, you know, that thong and, but actually I sijafika.
But you're still in the journey. Do you believe that someday, somehow you'll be confident enough to just put on a sexy costume and go swimming? Do you think so?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. So in 2011, after the first surgery, where you chungu, because on that particular day, when now after I'm in theater and then already ni an anesthesia nishawekwa ni kila kitu, the pipes nini, they cut off my hair and then they find what? Two pimples. They could not do that surgery.
As in 2 pimples zenye tunajua normal.
Yes. You see, it might probably be an infection. So they could not continue because hapo ndo alikuwa anataka wakati. Waking up, I could not talk. I could not eat. I could not swallow my saliva. I could not do anything. And I asked, what have you guys done? My throat was painful. So first, niko na pain ya throat, siwezi kula, siwezi kunywa, siwezi fanya kitu. And then now there was this dawa that I was given every morning at 9 a.m. to kausha those 2 pimples. That thing is painful. Ilikuwa inaingia kwa mwili yangu nasikia. Nasikia nywele inasimama hivi na already niko na tu nywele kiasi sasa kama kipachi. So ninasikia kama nywele ilikuwa, I will cry. Mimi tu msichana mkubwa, I will literally cry every time nilikuwa ninaona nasa akikuja naambia no, I don't want. But ni 9 a.m. and 9 at night for 3 days. That was a nightmare.
So you remained in hospital mpaka
yes.
Yes,
so I remained in hospitals. When they dried up, sana I again had to go back to surgery. So I felt like now this is a time lost. One, I'm in pain.
For no reason.
Maybe because of the
pimples.
Yeah, I'm in pain and then now nothing has been done. So I have to go back. And then even dreading the pain I've been going through. If they find anything, I am actually just going to go home. I don't want this surgery anymore. But thank God, everything went well. I came back to my senses, vizuri nikamkapoa. So now that is when I started now to eat vizuri. So it had been my prayer, this thing, sitaki ku ever experience when you're waking up after surgery. You can't eat, you can't talk, you can't do anything. Ama, you've gone, they found something else, you have to redo. That for me, that was torture. I felt like it was torture. But you see, I had to continue. Washaninyoa nywele, mali iko washakata. Sasa, how do I go back even?
Kulikuwa na nywele chache ama walinyoa kichwa nzima? Like, how did they do it?
You see, this left side, kulikuwa tu na nywele kidogo. Sasa hapo mali walikuwa nataka ndio walifanya nini? Walinikata.
Yeah.
Because where the pimple was, ndio walikuwa na incision. So you see. Unaona venye imekatwa hivi hivyo. Yeah, so imeenda hivyo, imeingia huku ndani kwa scalp mpaka huku nyuma. Yeah, now that is the tissue expansion. So there was a tube inside. Then every week I would go for incision. Sindano inaikuwa hapo, maji ina pump. So depending on how I will feel, I will go up to 10 cc, sometimes 15. Now coming back even nyumbani, una imagine Wayakiwe was another horrible road back then. You can imagine the road was just bad. The road was bad. Before it tengenezwa 2011, it wasn't like that. So already even from Kijabe to where the hospital is was another, a whole journey. Me nilikuwa nikianza tu kufikiria journey yangu coming back because already my head has expanded and it was so tight. It was so tight and painful that even headaches, they could not relieve. So coming na siwezi lala hosi, because it's a every week thing. Siwezi lala ati nikae 3 months due incision. So I used to have coming back now. Kurudi already the experience ya barabara. Even the drivers, they want to rush because wanataka warudi wabebe pia watu wengine waende Kijabe. So hiyo ya kuharakisha venye barabara ni mbaya, I will cry. Nilikuwa nashika kichwa Just imagine a whole journey from Kijabe
To Nairobi.
to Nairobi umeshika tu hivi. Na juu ya bumps imagine that pain. Can you just yes. I used to hate it, but I had already started. The tube was already in my head. There's nothing I could have done.
Did you ever regret like unafika mahali unasema I wish I wouldn't?
Yeah. That pain was too much. That pain was too much. Yeah, I started to regret, especially hiyo journey ya kurudi every time after incision, kurudi unapata driver mwenye hakuelewi. There are times that I would go and tell the driver, mimi niko na hivi na hivi na hivi, and kindly ni consider wakati unakimbia venye kwa barabara, especially mali barabara ni mbaya, please just try and consider me. Juu naumwa na kichwa and I have to just stay like this. So nilikuwa nikifunga seatbelt, I will try and find a way how ingenisaidia tu. So after now I went back, now the surgery sasa ya kutoa tube, I said no, I can't do this. Now that is where now I started realizing that as much as I want to look different, but I am okay the way I look. I'm really okay, and I just want to be the way I am. I don't want to continue with surgery, but I just kept on wondering now, where should I start? Because clearly, siwezi sasa sahi siwezi kana inajua. So after kidonda ipone, like I would want to be different, but I don't know how. So I really still struggle until, now that was in 2011, until 2013 I met, there's this friend of mine, now she's called Kelly. I was connected to her. Kelly, she's also a burn survivor. In fact, she's worse than I am. Kelly, she lives in Canada, and she was now coming to Kenya. Now when I realized how Kelly was looking, she was not even putting on short sleeve, and she is all burnt, and she didn't care. That motivated me. I was like, wow, Kelly, do you know this is actually the first time I wore short sleeve, because she was there for 4 days. So the first time nilienda nimejifunika nini hata. But now the second time when I saw Kelly wearing short sleeve, and of course people were staring, but she didn't care. That really got me thinking, can this be me? I mean, Kelly, are you honestly coming here so that you can teach me something, how to even treat myself? Because, mimi nilikuwa
unajifunika.
Monday, if it's school, Monday to, of course, Friday ni venye utaenda shule. Ikifika Saturday, mimi nimevaa taba, nimefunga. Actually, people used to think that I'm a Muslim. So when I saw Kelly, she's okay, she's confident, she's comfortable, I started to admire her. I said I want to be Kelly, but bado kuna struggle kujishikilia. So hapo pia from now then I actually started to pick up, even now going back to Kenyatta, and even now talking to, because when she came we went to Kenyatta, we went to Mukuru that time when that place got banned. We went to Mukuru. So in that process, that is where now I established a relationship with, now going to Kenyatta and Mukuru. But still, I'm very okay I'm very okay, encouraging, but now when it comes to me, me wanting to tell my story, it was a bit difficult. But I will honestly, you will see people are changing, especially for those mothers out there. I remember there's a time I went and there was this mother asking me, sasa mtoto wangu nikifika tu nyumbani hata nitamficha. Sasa mtoto hata amechomeka, hana hata macho. Niende wa neighbors watasema nini?
Told me that growing up you used to feel different. Maybe you felt like you're not beautiful enough, and now you're this adolescent with no hair. How was it?
I think that there was nothing really much I could do about it in my adolescent stage, other than after coming back home, you're in school. When you get back home, Unajifungia tu, you get back home, whatever you find, and unafunga nywele, unaendelea tu. But for me, I started really getting into my cocoon now during even that time of adolescent stage, kwa sababu I didn't want anything, because now I'm seeing other children are different. Na mimi niko tu mtofauti, and then say maybe you're hearing other girls are saying, hey, sijui I feel like I like nani, no kwa like me already hata siji like na like you too. So like, okay, what are these kids talking about? Oh, I like this guy, you know, I feel like like,
you're talking of liking someone else. I don't even like myself.
Like, anyway, so I really shut that down. Now I started to fear. I was just wondering, now how will my high school life be, you know? So nashindwa, okay, if I go to high school, will I be going to day school? I was just wondering. I wanted to go to a day school where I don't have to shower with, you know, other kids. Yeah, so I used to say, mom, no, I'm not going to nikaenda high school. If I have to, nitaenda a day school. Staki boarding.
If you have to, meaning you are not even willing to go to high school.
Because now I'm wondering, sasa high school tena, I'm just through hell hapa.
Another hell.
So na alafu high school day, and mind you, my first day in high school was a nightmare.
What happened?
Because it's my first day. I've never really been into a situation I have to bath with all this other, you know. Already when I was young in primary, nakumbuka tukienda swimming, I used to wait for other people to change, ndio mimi ni change. You know, I always was the last one. And if I have to change, nilikuanga naenda najificha kwa kona. So I'm just wondering, how will I manage high school? So my first day, my desk mate was my bedmate. So akaniamsha at 3. I know nothing. Sisi tumeenda, mimi nafikiria it's also okay to bathe with your panties. Kumbe where women are, you're supposed to remove everything. Si nyote ni wasichana?
Yeah.
Me, how do I know that? Mimi hapo nimejificha kwanza kwa kona. First of all, niko kwa kona, and then I'm having my panties. So I'm only just using my soap and my hiyo ya kujiosha. Na mono. Kwa nini uko na panty? We mono. Kwanza umekuja when? Kaambia jana. Ati jana tu. Na nilikwambia huku tunaogangana panty. Toa. So my bedmate, my deskmate akaanza kuniambia, Shali, please just remove, usianzane na maneno. When you already when you mono. Mimi nikamwambia msitoi mimi hapana. Ati just toa tu. Nikamwambia no. So unajua
alikuwa anajua reason ya wewe.
Hakuna mtu anajua. No, she doesn't even know ajui. Hakuna mtu anajua. So mimi niwaambia hapana, mimi siwezi toa. So at least hiyo panty unajua inanicover hivi, and then judiko kwa ukuta, so kuna mtu ananiona.
Na kichwa silikuwa inaonekana tu bado ama?
No, nimestyle nywele hivi. No, my hair is in fact it was very long. Sasa juu nimeenda blow dry, nimestyle hivi. Yote inafunika scalp. Kuna mtu ananiona. And every time I would style my hair, nilikuwa na style wakati watu wamelala.
Una style usiku ama asubuhi kabisa kabla ya
usiku? Na style na nafunga kitambaa vizuri wakati watu wamelala. And kama watu wako macho, I will always make sure niko side yenye sky yangu iko kwa ukuta, so that watu wakiniona. By the way, not so many people knew I had a scar on my head.
So walikuwa wanaona tu za face?
Yes, na of course mikono. But saa mgongo no. So I will always bathe wakati. So I became a topic for a whole week. Shule mzima na panty. I
can imagine na high school.
Don't even want to imagine. A whole week I became that topic.
So nobody understood why you
No
were
one.
putting on the panty while bathing. Wanaona tu maybe ni kaushamba ama ni kujiringa or something, the way unataka kudefine. Mtu anadefine vile anataka.
Yeah.
So high school life ikaendelea hivyo, already day one imekuwa nightmare. The rest of the days, 4 years.
So even to just that week, I called my mom, come down, mimi nataka kurudi home, mimi sitaki. So kaniambia tu, we kangana tu, just nikamwambia no, me I don't want. Kaniambia tu, akaniambia anyway. Sasa now what do I say? Anyway, I'll try. So I pressed on. I remember pressing on very much. And then I started to even open up to even other social activities. You know, I became the best table tennis player.
Wow.
Yeah, I even went to nationals. For me now, hapo ndio pia nikaanza even sasa now concerning my education. After my mama aliniambia, now what do you want me to do? I think for me, I really felt bad that she didn't have any other thing to do, and so I really started to change. I wanted to change to even make her feel, or even make my parents feel that I am able to handle myself, because there's nothing she could honestly do. Yeah, so hapo nikang'ang'ana tu.
So yeah, unajua sasa ile mtu ana grow, you grow up, you're young, uko primary school, you innocent, bullying ni ile tu ndogo zile za kuchokozana, kachomea mlikuwa umesema unaitwa nani, umeenda high school umeambiwa toa kila kitu ndio uoge, you know, now umeanza kupata hiyo confidence kidogo, but in high school, remember, to other kids happens. Kama vile ulikuwa umesema other girls are now talking about liking someone. Did you ever now like someone? Ama mtu anakuwa attracted na wewe? Ama ulibaki tu hivyo tu?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
I think I was just really focused on education, because now nikaanza pia kupenda hata kusoma. Me, I just focused on education na story na games. Mimi, honestly, liking someone in high school, no. I actually didn't even have that time. Hata sijui kama mngetumia nini like. And maybe they didn't tell me in the neighboring schools too. And I think I really love to play football. I was actually a footballer. So you say my time was more focused on, you know, if it's not education, it's in football. And meaning left hand. So I was playing number 11 until nikavunjika mguu. So when nilivunjika mguu, now I changed now to table tennis. So you see, I was just focused on, you know,
academics,
na
games,
anything machali uko. Kama kuna yenye alikuwa na notice
haujui lakini uko notice.
No, I really no.
Yeah.
But we just had of course the neighboring schools me mambo ya machali I didn't really have. For me, so nikifikiria back in primary, wengine wako tu kwa chama, I like this guy. And like, okay. Have you ever asked me even if, first of all, do I even like myself? So that one I really cut off. So when I started to find that confidence in even games, because you see now, at games pia was also a struggle to me, kwa sababu now nakumbuka when I was playing football, I will always look for a bigger jersey.
To cover
ile kubwa, so that enye unajua nikivaa ile inanivaa haitafika hapa mkono, itafika huko. So those are the ones that I would look for. It was just a struggle. Like my life has just been a struggle. So nilikuwa natafuta ile kubwa overall kabisa, ile jersey kubwa, alafu ikuku, so that I don't have to distract mtu yoyote.
So ile time yenye ulikuja kufanya surgery, were you married yet ama ulikuwa tu bado?
No. I was very young. Surgery, no. I got married like 4 years ago. Yeah.
After the surgery.
Surgery was done in 2011.
So you're here in Soba, okay? Why do you feel like this is the right time to talk about what you went through and everything?
having interacted with burn survivors for quite a long time now, I have realized that if I don't talk about it, if I don't show myself, I'm going to talk to a survivor na nimeva mawik, all this to hide myself. I first need to have that confidence so that I'm able to even go and give them that courage that I want them to have. So I realize that if I don't get out of my cocoon, not so many people are going to understand my journey, because I need you to walk with me as I walk with someone. I want to be that gap where I am able to, at the same time I'm walking, I am also bringing someone in so that we walk together. So I realized that the longer I continue taking, sharing my story, or even wanting to do the undercover, that undercover was now me taking off my wig, me taking off the makeup. There are times that I don't even want to wear makeup. There are times that nataka tu nikae hivyo, niende tu mahali, I'm just okay.
As natural as you.
But sasa now when you think of attracting people looking at you and asking questions, you'll try and avoid all that. So there are times, honestly, I just want to, when I have a shower, I just, if I'm going to do my hair, I'll do it whatever style I want to and just get out. But nikianza kufikiria if I'm going to use a matatu, nikiingia kwa matatu, venye utaangaliwa, venye someone will just literally stare at you, like, especially kwa wazazi venye wanakwanga na watoto, watoto, kids. Imagine kids. Unajua wewe kama mzazi umebeba mtoto, alafu sasa mtu, kitambo before COVID venye mumekaa. So imagine wewe umebeba mtoto, kuna mtoto wako, alafu mtoto wako tu anasikia tu. Sengine, yani kids are just funny. Hao ni watoto wadogo, but not ati mtu mwenye akona akili zake and then anakubul. So for me, when I really realized that I want to be, the voice of the voiceless, I will call that. I will really say that. I want to be the voice of the voiceless, because trust me, there are many out there who are hurting. I'm talking about burn survivors. Where do they get to air their platform? Where do they get a platform to air their stories? Where do they find the courage, the hope? So this is where now, when I started, and even sometimes when I will see other kids that who are really, really burnt, we are all struggling with something, but not to say ati hiyo pia ilikuwa inanifanya na feel confident, but in a way or another, it really motivated me to want to do more. So that is where now I came out wanting to be different and just, wanting to help those who can't help themselves by, first of all, letting them accept themselves as they are now. It's very, very important that we come to the point where acceptance, acceptance has to be done. And then now from there, what next?
Talking about bullying and all that, I want you to talk to parents to really understand and raise their kids in a way that they are not going to bully other people, because apart from burn survivors, there are other people with different problems,
challenges, probably even disabilities and all that, persons with disability and all that. No, my point to parents is very, very simple. When we really raise our children the way we are supposed to, when we raise our children in kindness, it really goes a long way. I want to imagine that maybe that kid wasn't raised in a way that they understand what being generous, being kind is. Because when you're kind, you can't bully someone. You'll be sorry about them. You'll be sympathetic, I will say, about what they're going through. You'll want to treat them the way you would want to be treated. But when you just, when we have kids who are very arrogant, talk carelessly, and you just wonder, where is our space as parents? Where have we gone wrong? Is it time that we need to really reflect on how we have been doing our parenting, chores, and want to change? Now this is the time that we must really focus, because even as a teacher in school, you can't change that kid.
Exactly.
You really can't. You've done your best. It has to be the parent wanting to change their children. It has also to be the parent themselves changing. Because if the kid is seeing arrogant, an arrogant mom or dad, so how do you even expect that kid to grow up?
So as we conclude, because you're almost getting to the end of our talk, I want you to talk to those people, burn survivors, who feel that they don't even like themselves, not even liking other people, just like you know. Talk to them, tell them something, because I'm 100% sure one or two or a lot of them are watching.
To be honest, like I just said, first of all, acceptance is the breakthrough. First of all, when you start that journey of healing, you first of all have to accept. When you start looking, or rather finding something that is unique about yourself, it becomes easy for you to heal. For me, I will really say this. As much as we are honestly talking about burn survivors, let us not forget that these victims, these survivors, they have people who are taking care of them. And these are the caregivers. How about the caregivers? This process is not just for the survivors. This process of healing is about, first of all, even the caregivers.
Yeah.
So this is why even as I continue going to hospital and even reaching out to other burn survivors who are not in hospital, first of all, I start with the caregivers. How have they come in terms with the incident? How are they prepared mentally? You have to prepare this person psychologically. But as I'm continuing to share my story, I'm also even laughing. It's now becoming a laughing matter. Then it wasn't, because I wouldn't even have laughed. Like ungeza kucheka hivyo tu ningeamka na niende. But now looking back, it clearly shows that I have really moved on. It's a journey, and I'm also grateful for. So thank you for having me. Looking forward for more.
Thank you. You're welcome. So my
Thank you.
pleasure. Bye.